Hey guys, Omni here. We are back with another episode of The Bad Batch. Last week, the team crash landed on a seemingly deserted planet till they ran into a creature that just wanted to suck their power dry, ran off with one of their capacitors, and they had to get that back. Hunter going off, and along for the journey this time around to help is Omega, trying to kind of emulate and adapt and learn to be part of the group. Trying to pick up on Hunter's tracking skills. It was a really cute episode, especially when Hunter himself got kind of taken out of the equation for a little bit and incapacitated by the beast. And Omega stepped up, found a non-violent solution to the problem using her skills, her ingenuity, and just kind of observation. Definitely, I think it's starting to lean a little bit more into, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm feeling at. I'm like really right in between whether or not we're going to go the force sensitive route, or if she's a super clone, or if she's got kind of like all of their enhancements. There's a lot of different ways they could go with this, but I like the way that, we can see that she's just a humble little child, man. And I love it. The interaction between her and Wrecker in this was really cute, especially when they were crash landing. And it was like, it just reminded me, and I did it a lot in my last reaction, was just like, gosh, this just reminds me of like a roller coaster. You got the older person who should be the one in charge, like, reassuring you, and then they're also scared too. But it was just really endearing, those two. Speaking of Wrecker, though, in the crash landing, and I missed this in the initial watch, during their crash landing, he actually bumped his head. And throughout the rest of the episode, from that point onward, he'd been getting headaches in the area where their chip is. And it's definitely got me concerned, especially since before they crash landed, Tech and Echo were talking about how they've been letting the maintenance on the whole ship kind of take a back seat, because Tech is more concerned about building a device to analyze their chips to see what, if they are active, if they're still affecting them, to try to figure out if they're still a threat to them, even though they are showing no signs of being under the influence of them right now. They did affect Crosshair. So he's like, just because they're not working right now doesn't mean they won't down the road, which I hope isn't foreshadowing some bad things for the group. But we'll just have to see where that whole thing goes. On the Empire side of things, Crosshair has been upgraded to training the first little batch of elite conscripted troopers, soldiers from the worlds, people brought in, the first batch of people recruited to be the Empire, not grown to be in the military. We got a little back and forth there, especially between the group, and we got this hot shot who's like coming in, who's like, y'all, you're just a clone. Why are they calling us in if you guys are so badass? All the fun stuff before he, oddly enough, being the little snarky douchebag, he kind of seems to be playing up to be. He still had a heart when it came down to it. When it came down to it, when the revelation that their mission was to execute a bunch of civilians, he didn't follow through with it. And that got him killed by Crosshair. Because Crosshair follows orders, no matter how dirty. And because he just axed one of their own, the other batch of soldiers that went with him, that was part of this unit, follow suit and execute the remaining civilians that they had captured. It's pretty brutal, and I like that turn that they took with it. I like that direction that it went, because it just shows the contrast between the different types of loyalty that you have with like Omega and her loyalty to the team, the group, and then you've got him, his loyalty to what is it and then as well as that same soldier that he executed, like how far does your loyalty go, and how much are you willing to lose for your loyalty? It was a pretty interesting reflection. And then just coming back to their old barracks, seeing it all cleaned up, the mess, the heart, the personality all washed away. And you still have the marks on the wall because they were carved in. So they didn't replace that panel, but that's still there. A reminder for Crosshair that this was their home. And there's this little glimmer that it just seems like maybe the real Crosshair is just screaming to get out. Where just this somber moment they linger on him as he's sitting back into his bunk with his new brothers in arms, and we'll see how that whole thing goes. I don't see good things for this crew by the end of it, but we'll see. But I would like to see maybe them be able to free him of this chip, but I don't know what kind of future these guys all have. But we'll see. Tarkin promotes Rampart, and they move forward with Project Warmantle. And in the backside, with this new revelation, with the success of these new conscripted soldiers, the Kaminoans again are feeling the tensions and the scared about their position with the Empire. And they're moving on to another phase of a little mysterious project they got going on, mentioning Jango's DNA is no longer viable. They may need a new host, a new clone, to move forward with their project. They've definitely got some stuff going on. Definitely raises a lot of questions. So I'm ready to get back into this. Guys, before we dive into, there was some major news yesterday, and I'm sorry to keep this lengthy going into this, but it was announced yesterday, and apparently it's been this case for a while, but they've made the official update and announcement to the public yesterday that Dave Filoni has in fact been promoted to executive producer and executive creative director of all of Lucasfilm. There's only 3 other people above him, and one of those is Kennedy. The other 2 seem to be mostly on the production side of things, the business side of things. So as far as creative decisions go, Dave Filoni's at the top now. The only person that can block him at this point is Kennedy, really. So huge leaps and bounds for us Filoniverse fans. So I'm curious to see what that means for Lucasfilm and what that says for the future of Star Wars. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on that, but it's definitely got me excited. Aside from that, let's go ahead and dive into this week's episode. Remember, the full-length, unedited reaction watch-along is over on our Patreon, or if you become a member here on the YouTube channel itself, gets you access to all the same stuff. It's just whichever one's easier for you. If you're interested at all, it just helps support the channel, helps me do this, and try to keep the quality ever growing, expanding into other shows if possible. The goal one day is to get an additional editor to help me with the workload, but for now, it's just me. That being said, let's dive into some Bad Batch. Alrighty, here we go. Cornered. That's not foreboding at all.
That's where we'll go. But our floor's not even inhabited, which makes it the perfect place to hide out.
Hide? Can't we explore?
Not right now. We have to wait for things to settle down.
Well,
Yeah.
either. We don't have enough fuel, and we are also entirely out of rations. Without the Republic to provide us supplies, we'll have to acquire these necessities on our own.
Comchatter has our ship's signature on a wanted list.
So we scramble it.
You can do that.
Of course I can do it. But I need to land. By my calculations, the closest planet is Pantora.
Pantora.
Pantora it is.
Pantora it is.
Omega's such an adorable little kid, man. Just the whimsy, the naivete in a way too, this ignorance of the world, but this excitement for exploring. It's refreshing. I like it. It's a nice contrast to the rest of the darkness going on in this era right now.
Why'd you tell me we're out of rations? Now I'm starving.
Our priority is
You fellas here for repairs?
just a minor.
Put on a mask if you're gonna cough like that.
Have at it. Just need to scan your ship in. Are you sure about that? I suppose I could skip that step. Forgetting something? Huh?
You gotta pay him a little.
You said you'd skip the step. I could. Great. If I had some incentive.
Is that sufficient incentive?
Pleasure doing business with you.
Looks like he's like fucking. He just went through a whole bag of Cheetos.
This is Raspar 6 at Row Station.
What a dick bag, man.
You're looking for a certain modified Omicron.
Oh, look who it is.
Transmit the coordinates and make sure they don't leave.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Why Attack and I have to do all the repairs while you get to go sightseeing?
Sightseeing?
No. This is a supply run. In and out, and you stick out too much. Oh, and you don't? Not dressed like this.
Is he pretending to be a droid? That mask, though, just giving me some Revan vibes. I know it's not what they're doing, but that's just me doing what I do. Holding out hope. Both cats. Those things are just an invasive species to every fucking planet.
What are they celebrating?
The end of the war. Chain code. Let's get what we came for and get out of here.
But the war is over. Isn't that good?
Depends which side you're on.
Yeah.
Hey kid, you break it, you buy it.
Sorry.
If you're looking to sell something, how about your droid? Droid? He's a military prototype. Military, eh? Yeah, give me 2,000. Give me a minute.
What?
No, you can't be serious. We need the credits. Once we get the
They gonna,
supplies,
like,
I'll give you the
dupe
signal
him?
and you can leave. Fine, but not at that price. I am worth more than 2,000. Right. Make it 4,000. 3. Deal.
No, oh my god, no!
Hey, wait!
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Omega, no! Oh.
Echo, go to your new owner. Yes, whatever you require. Omega. Omega! Hey, watch it!
Sorry.
Are you all right? You seem lost.
I got separated from my friends.
I can help with that. Not to worry. We'll find them.
You're not a droid. You're right, Clint.
He's got little arms.
Report his deception at once.
I'll take your complaint.
Dear me!
Anyone else?
You hungry, kid?
Yeah, but I don't have any credits.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. You're so kind.
My mistake. Here,
Why do you have a blaster?
to protect myself. The galaxy's a dangerous place to be on your own.
I know. If you're alone, you should come with us.
Now that's the best offer I've had in a long time.
Omega!
Oh, there's one of my friends now.
Omega, step away from her.
Omega and I were getting to know each other.
Omega, run!
Oh.
Citizen! Halt! Wrecker, Tech, Echo. I lost Omega. Somebody attacked us. He's after the kid. Yeah, we'll see about that.
I'll tap into the central security network. There should be enough cameras in this city to find her.
I hope it's not just me being paranoid about last episode, but Wrecker seems a little more aggressive this episode. Could be the lack of food.
Gear up, fellas.
But I hope that's all it is.
I am afraid that is impossible. We are prohibited from leaving this post.
Look, the sooner we do this, the sooner you're back in charge.
I'm not capable of removing our restraining bolts.
That's why I'm the supervisor.
Where do you think you're all going? Get back inside. You're not a droid.
You got me for a bargain.
There you are.
Wrecker? Can we get out of here?
You. I'm with Omega. We're on our way. You mess with the kid, you mess with me. Ha! Yeah!
Oh no, that was another head hit. Fuck.
I am not programmed to repair or assemble starships. Oh. No joking.
This thing's so stumpy. I love it.
75. DK3, get to work on the repulsors.
Wrecker, where are you? But Omega is hanging from a maintenance tower in the Skyway.
Hanging?
For now. I suggest you hurry.
I remember this shot in the trailer. Well, not that particular shot, but him on that speeder bike, obviously.
You can thank me later.
Here it is.
Tuck and roll when you land, kid.
Fennec is such a badass.
Wrecker,
I'm gonna find Omega.
Hunter's already on it. Get back to the ship.
Oh. Jeez. Oh, goddamn. Dude. That was so close.
Kid, we're not out of this yet.
I like that. They set that up earlier. Oh, that's a nice come around.
Oh, I'm missing all the action.
My diagnostic test indicates this vessel is now operational.
No, wait, don't go. She hasn't paid me yet. Stop.
That was an intense little like whole segment there through the city. The chase, the fights, everything.
Be a bounty hunter. We have to find out who she is and who hired her.
No, wait. I tried to stop them.
The target got away. But I'll find her.
Damn. This has been the shortest episode so far. I mean, just to credits, it was 22 minutes. But I can see why. Most of this was nothing but that action scene, and it was really well done. Where to start? Wrecker just keeps getting his head beaten over and over again, man. Like I said throughout the reaction itself, like, you know, I don't know if it was him being hungry, the stress of the situation, or what, but it seemed like he was being a little more short, aggressive. There's a little bit of more frustration in his voice, and I hope that's not like the chip getting rattled in his head from the previous episode. But on top of that, and we didn't see it increase after the fact, at least in this episode, but Finnick rammed his head into that electrical panel. Anytime he's getting hit in the head, anytime any of them are get hit in the head, I'm going to be nervous. I love them going about, like, again, seeing the Empire's reach growing, the way that people are just, in a lot of worlds, are just adapting to it. I mean, honestly, let's be real. Like, they touched on it a little bit in the Mandalorian. Some worlds, it really won't feel that different. And I was kind of thinking throughout the episode too, is like, I'm wondering how many worlds actually benefited from the Empire. Like the common people, not like the people up the chain that would obviously be able to make a buck out of it, make a credit out of it or whatever. But like, just, we saw last episode too, like the, you know, the guy that got killed by Crosshair, who was like, listen, the Republic was just disheveled, whatever. They didn't care about everybody. It was too distracted, too whatever. And, you know, the Empire's giving them security, job, health, blah, 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 benefits, all that junk. So we're seeing like a difference in a way that the galaxy views the Empire right now. Could be propaganda. It could be, in a way, a lot of these benefits are coming from that increased control. The Republic did let a lot of those places govern themselves, and that led to corruption on multiple worlds. That's why you had a divided Senate. Here we are speaking for, seems like we're like pushing pro-Empire here, but what, it's just like, I don't know. It just kind of shows the flaws in the Republic to begin with. So I'm wondering how they're going to balance that out with showing like the local evils. Because aside right now, we saw Crosshair and how they handled this rebellion sect. This early offshoot rebellion. Even though the people that was left behind that they executed were just civilians, the intent was to snuff out this Saw Gerrera's guerrilla camp. So seeing them, how that's going to go and evolve into what eventually becomes the Republic, or not the Republic, but the rebellion, will be pretty interesting. But like, I want to see like the contrast of that too, because aside from us having seen what happened on the other side, you know, behind the veil of what the Empire is showing the public, you know, we saw a glimpse of what kind of atrocities that they've done. I hope we dive a little bit more into like seeing some of the public see some of these evils as well, because like I don't know, it's kind of interesting how they're going to be kind of graying that blend here, because obviously our heroes are on the run. They know what happened, they know the truth or whatever, at least enough of it to be wanted, and really they're just out to survive right now because they're wanted for their position, their stance on this whole thing. So that's their reason for surviving, which is fair, but it's also not painting the Empire hugely negatively. So I'm curious to see how they balance that out through the episodes. I want to see a little bit more of like what spurns the people to join the rebellion, what spurns the galaxy to be divided on the new Empire. Because a lot of what we're seeing so far, and maybe that's because that's been a lot of Star Wars up to this point. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just kind of see from an outsider's perspective, how easily the world turns towards the Empire. How the worlds gravitate towards accepting this new government where they didn't accept the Republic before, where it makes the rebellion such a strenuous effort to gather recruitments, to just get supplies, to get aid, to build their numbers, to convince people that the Empire is bad. Because right now, the Empire saved them from a war. Right now, the Empire is giving them prosperity. Right now, the Empire is the hero. Even though, in a way, it's just the Republic with a different name. Unlike the Republic, it's also got increased lockdown and presence in other worlds, and its claws and its fingers and its puppet strings are getting into all of these local systems and governments, locking down, assigning people numbers, all this stuff. Things that they're not seeing yet. And maybe that's something that we won't explore in this show. Maybe it's something we won't see maybe till something else comes down the line. Or maybe they know we know this enough that we can see this side of that and not really need to worry about it. Because we can kind of know how things go. I would just kind of like to see that slow evolution on the ground level. It would be pretty interesting to explore that. Now, Finnick showing up, of course, the bounty's gone out. Wasn't she an ex-Imperial sharpshooter, I thought they said? Am I remembering that wrong? Even female assassin after blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go reading through a thing. Anyway, let me know in the comments. I'll probably look up myself after this, but I don't want to waste any time on the video just reading a Wikipedia page. But yeah, I love seeing her pop up and seeing, one, how she isn't all bad. Like, she did try to take care of the kids. She fed the kids. She gave the kid advice when, dropping from that maintenance towers. Like, remember, tuck and roll, you'll be okay. So, like, she's not all bad. And we've seen this later. She does have a code of honor. But, of course, she's got to get paid. And she was a formidable foe. I mean, she was smart. And even though she showed that she could overpower, or she was being overpowered by Hunter, she can be resourceful and fight. And she's smart about how she navigates these situations, man. And we got a little bit of a taste of her lethality, of course, when she took out with that little blaster pistol from that speeding chase, that officer that was chasing them right through his visor. It was pretty sweet. The whole chase sequence was really well thought out, really well choreographed and designed. They kept the tensions and settings kind of varied, and I really like that about it. Hunter's just parental nature over Omega, I adore it. Tech and Echo butting heads at all times is interesting because it definitely shows they have different priorities and roles, while, again, their skill sets are very similar. And Wrecker did kind of get a little sidelined this episode, but every moment he showed up, he was just endearing as always, especially when he finds Omega and she just kind of curls into his chest and he's just like, oh, it's just like seeing all these soldiers protect this kid. And it's just, I don't know, warms your heart a little bit. Now, oh shit, where was I going to go from there? Oh yeah. Echo pretending to be a droid. Not a bad cover. And that whole bit of them conning that merchant by selling Echo was so fucking funny. It's like, I'm worth more than 2,000 credits. 3,000. Deal. You got a bargain. I love that whole exchange. And I love just the kind of the whimsy of Omega just being out in the world, wanting to explore these worlds, but under this restriction that they can't. And she's like naive to the point where she was like, well, I don't know why I'd be a target. Does she know what she is? Does she know how special she is to the Kaminoans, to these people that are trying to get her back? Who hired her? Was it the Kaminoans or was it the Empire? I'm curious. My money's on the Kaminoans. I think they're the ones that hired Fennec to track her down. That's going to be that's where I'm going to place my money. I think we'll see, and we'll find out where it goes from there. Because she had no interest in the other clones, just Omegas, it seemed like. Yeah, let's see. It was a pretty straightforward episode. I don't think there's really too much to talk about. So at this point, I'm just going to pass it off to you guys. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. If you want to check out the full reaction, go over to my Patreon, or you can sign up to my channel here as a member to get access to it as well. Huge shout out to our patron legends, Mandy Sherritt, Antoine Rodriguez, Ryan Karen, and Jason Coleman. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for everybody who's been joining over there, helping support the channel. Guys, we did open a Discord channel, so links to that, all my socials are in the description of this video. And for now, that's all I've got. And I will see you guys next week in the next episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch. May the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.